فإن آمنوا بمثل ما آمنتم به فقد اهتدوا وإن تولوا فإنما هم في شقاق.
لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فأمس قد سئلت عن هل يرث المسلم الكافر أو لا.
Bismillah. So Shaykh Amis Hafidullah, that he started by this, with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and also salutation upon the Prophet Islam. Then he mentioned that as for last night's session, that was asked regarding a Muslim inheriting from a non-Muslim.
وقد ذكرت حديث وقع مني بعض الخطأ والوهم في حديث.
He said, now, as for what was mentioned regarding the hadith, that there was some errors or something that an error that occurred from what was mentioned regarding the hadith.
فهناك حديث لا يرث المسلم الكافر ولا يرث الكافر المسلم.
So the hadith that mentioned that Muslim does not inherit from a kafir and a kafir does not inherit from a Muslim.
فهذا حديث صحيح متفق عليه.
And this hadith, it is sahih, authentic, and also the hadith is collected by Bukhari and Muslim.
وقد وهمت البارحة وقلت أن فيه شيء من الضعف.
So the thing that the error from the part was that the error was regarding that there was some discussion regarding the authenticity of this hadith.
والحقيقة أن الضعف في حديث لا يتوارث أهل الملتين.
So the hadith is regarding that one does not inherit from two opposite millah religions.
اليهودي لا يرث النصراني.
That a Yahud doesn't inherit from a Christian.
أما لا يرث المسلم الكافر فهذا حديث صحيح متفق عليه.
So as for regarding the hadith that state that a Muslim does not inherit from a kafir and a kafir does not inherit from a Muslim, that hadith is clearly authentic.
وقد ذكرت أن اختيار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى هو توريث المسلم من الكافر النصراني.
So as we mentioned that Shaykh Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah is of the view, the opinion that a Muslim can inherit from a non-Muslim.
وهذا صحيح، هذا اختيار شيخ الإسلام.
And that is valid, that is authentic, and that is the view, the opinion of Shaykh Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah.
وشيخ الإسلام يحتج بآثار وردت عن الصحابة في هذا.
And Shaykh Ibn Taymeeyah that he used as a proof some narrations that go back to the Sahaba.
وصح عن معاوية ومعاذ أنهم كانوا يورثون المسلمين من غير المسلمين.
So he found from some of the Sahaba, Al-Mu'awiya
ومعاذ بن جبل
ومعاذ بن جبل, that their opinion that one can inherit from a non-Muslim.
وأيضا شيخ الإسلام يقول أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ورث عبد الله بن أبي وهو كان منافقا.
So he mentioned that Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned that the Prophet Islam that inherited from Abdullah ibn Ubay, and he was then a munafiq.
قال فدل على أن هذا الحديث ليس على عمومه.
So it shows that the hadith is not something which is general, that is not to be applied in all cases.
لكن المذاهب الأربعة وعمر بن الخطاب وعثمان على أنه لا يرث المسلم من غير المسلم.
So but as for the view that's taken by the A'immat al-Arba and also Umar and others, that their view is that a Muslim does not inherit from a non-Muslim.
لكن ابن القيم يقول أن بعض الناس يقول أنا لو أسلمت ستحرموني من ميراث والدي النصراني.
So Ibn Qayyim mentioned that.
يقول النصراني الذي يمنع من الإسلام أنه إذا أسلم سيحرم ورث والده أو زوجته النصرانية أو قريبا النصراني، ليست زوجته سيحرم ورث والده النصراني أو زوجته. فهمت؟
لا.
يعني عندنا نصراني يريد أن يسلم.
Hey, so you have a Christian that wishes to accept Islam.
ووالده ثري.
And the parent is wealthy. Nasrani.
يقول أنا لو أسلمت.
But if I was to accept Islam,
سأحرم ثروة والدي.
then I would not be able to inherit from my parent.
إذا مات.
If they were to die.
فيكون الإسلام مانع له. سيكون عدم الميراث مانع له من الإسلام.
So he said Islam is like Islam will stop him from inheriting from that parent.
ولذلك الشيخ الإسلام جوز هذا للمصلحة.
So Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah that he gave a permissibility for this as a form of maslaha, a form of benefit.
ولكن كما ذكرت لكم أرجح الأقوال أنه يأخذ هذا المال ويضعه في المسلمين.
So as we mentioned yesterday regarding the most correct view is that the person can take up this wealth and use it regarding things which is general that will benefit the Muslims.
وقد صح عن عمر بن عبد العزيز أنه فعل ذلك.
And it has been authenticated in Umar ibn Abdul Aziz that he did this.
هذا ما حدث التنبيه عليه بالنسبة لله.
So the Shaykh Hafidullah just to bring this to your attention regarding that question that was asked and the answer from yesterday. So now we open the floor for question. If they're written better, if they're Shafawiyan, they make it precise and to the point.
These days we've seen a lot of Muslims shaving their beards and leaving the mustache. What the Shaykh can...
فكل كثير من المسلمين يعني يحدث على
لو تتكلم بالميكروفون يا شيخ.
So the question regarding that you find that many Muslims that they shave their beard and they
leave the mustache now.
and they leave the mustache.
Yes.
So what's the matter? What's the
question is particular about whether they imitate the kuffar or what's their position.
So is this classed as imitating the kuffar?
No, I'm asking a question.
You're asking a question.
Yes.
Would this be classed the Muslim? Okay. So يسأل كثير من المسلمين يعني يحلقون اللحية وبعضهم يعني ترك الشوارب. هل هذا يعتبر تشبه بالكفار؟
Yes. Whether they're imitating the kuffar or not.
هل هذا يعتبر من التشبه بالكفار؟ هذا الصور.
هذا ورد بالنص النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال خالفوا الكفار خلقوا اللحى وأعفوا الشوارب.
So as this matter is a text from the Prophet Islam regarding this particular matter in specific regarding that to leave the beard and to trim the mustache.
فحتى لو حلق المسلمون الآن.
So even the Muslims were to cut off all their beards.
لا عبرة بحلقهم.
Then it doesn't matter. That has no is not considered.
لأن النص ورد بالنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Because you have a specific text on that matter. أيوة. تفضل.
So I have a few questions actually. I don't know if I can ask.
One.
First one is the covenant.
The
covenant.
Covenant.
Obviously, someone on a different understanding would say, if I go to England, I can denounce I'm a British citizen. I come back in without a visa, with some other means, without a nationality, saying that I denounce this nationality, and then they come and do something that is
haram.
Evil. Haram.
Okay.
So someone that is under this understanding, if he's under that understanding that he's denounced all everything to do with Britain, and
they come back into Britain
and come back in
and do something evil
without visa,
without
passport.
Okay.
What is this understanding? How is his understanding?
They come to the country illegal.
Oh,
no, I'm just trying to.
This is how people come in the country all the time. Yeah.
No. Okay, so the question I'm just trying to answer.
How does he now fit into the category of under this covenant?
Okay, so the question, I'm going to rephrase the question now for everyone. So the question has been asked that a person who will have, for example, British citizenship, he denounced his citizenship of Britain and then leave the country. Now, then he returned back into the country without any form of visa or anything. He's slipping illegal now to do evil. That's the question. Okay, no problem. How does that person fit into this covenant?
His no understanding. Someone has told him this is what you have to do.
Okay, so they told this.
So this is his understanding.
Okay.
He thinks it's right. So how do we tell someone no, this is not right?
Okay.
And you're still under a covenant.
Okay. So,
would you have a covenant?
killing me.
Sorry.
طيب يقول الشخص بالنسبة للكلام العقد العقود بين المسلم والكافر إذا رجل جنسيته بريطاني طيب ثم يتخلى من هذا جنسية وخرج من البلد بريطانيا ثم دخل بدون تأشيرة أو أي شيء طيب ويريد أن يفعل الفساد في هذا البلد بدون تأشير ولا عقود عليه كيف يرد على مثل هذا قول؟
هل هذا متصور واقعا أن يسلم الجنسية بنفسه ثم يخرج؟
So it says that as for this matter regarding a person gives in his nationality then leave, right?
هذا واقع يعني
Is this something which is real as what you are just
أو مجرد صورة خيالية؟
the picture that you are giving to us?
This is something that someone has told to me to say that if you want to do something like this, this is what you have to do.
يقول واحد قال له هذا إذا يريد أن يفعل مثل هذا العمل أن يفعل هذا العمل.
هذه صورة خيالية شيخ، لا يمكن أن يغادر أو بريطانيا بدون معاق. كيف يدخل دولة أخرى؟
So he said, as for this matter, is something which is more something which is just something which is a figurative type of thing, but as for it being the reality in most cases.
أين سيذهب؟
So when a person says, okay, he's gonna leave his British nationality, where's he gonna go?
أخبرني.
So I say, I'm British, I have my green book, blue book, whatever, and I said, I'm gonna give it in, which country I'm gonna go?
No, as in, he can, anywhere he goes.
Yeah, but anywhere is where?
So,
القمر.
he can go,
المكان.
he can go Ireland. Ireland, no, actually he can go outside of Britain. He can go to any country that's...
الشيخ الآن الوثائق والجنسيات أصبح ضرورة، لا يتخلى عنها شخص إلا إذا عنده جنسية أخرى ويسافر بالجنسية الأخرى.
Says that after this matter regarding having a nationality and passport goes with it, a person can say, you can't find a person, I'm going to give up my nationality from one country and then just go to another country, just like that. So if you enter another country,
هذه الصورة غير واقعة، هذا السؤال غير صحيح، السؤال غير صحيح.
says that as for this question, it's not something which is realistic, practical in most cases.
إن سلم الجنسية وذهب إلى دولة أخرى.
So a person, I give up my nationality from my country and go to a next country
بالجنسية الأخرى.
with a next nationality.
فإنه ملتزم بعقود تلك الجنسية التي يحملها.
So whatever nationality that he has with him, then that becomes the thing that he has to uphold.
فهذا لا يخرج من العهد.
So in every case, he's still under some form of covenant.
نعم.
With us?
Is using the tasbih regarding us humiliating the Yasar.
نقول التسبيح هذا يعتبر من تشبه النصارى.
ما هو؟
تسبيح
بالمسبحة.
أي مسبحة. تشبه بال
المسبح يعني أهل العلم الأقدمين على جواز التسبيح بالمسبحة.
Says that the ulama of the past is of the view it is permissible for a person to use that. We have heard that the tasbih.
كالحافظ ابن حجر العسقلاني وشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية.
Amongst them, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani and also Ibn Taymeeyah.
ومن المعاصرين الشيخ ابن عثيمين.
And of those of contemporary time, of the permit that give permissibility of contemporary time, Ibn Taymeeyah.
لكن لا يعتقد فضل المسبحة.
So without the person believing that there's any virtue in using of this thing.
إن اعتقد فضل المسبحة فهذا بدعة.
So if the person believes there is some type of virtue in use of this tasbih, then that's a bid'ah.
إنما هي لضبط العدد.
So it is only used just kind of somewhat as a counting tool.
ولكن الأفضل التسبيح باليد.
And what is better, more preferred, is for the person to use his fingers. Man, ثاني.
Would you answer another one?
بسم الله.
Sorry, very sorry. But I always hear, and I know
You're always here.
Yes, I always hear people say, like you said today, that the Muslims are weak.
The Muslims
Are weak.
Okay.
Now, from my understanding, now you understand. Okay, no, khilaf and stuff like that. But why are we weak?
Okay.
Why are we weak?
So the question about after what you have heard that and heard again today, the Muslims are always said to be weak because of there's no khilafah. But why? So the question is why the Muslims are weak.
When we have such big Islamic states, Islamic countries, and stuff like that, why are we weak?
And numbers.
The numbers.
Okay, طيب ماشي. So يقول ودائما يسمع من الناس يقول أن المسلمون ضعفاء. نعم المسلم ضعيف. لكن نعم لأن ليس فيه الخلافة. نعم وكذلك السؤال منه لماذا المسلمون ضعفاء؟ وعندنا يعني الدول المسلمين كثيرة والمسلمون كثيرة هكذا.
أولا الخلافة ليست مقصود الإسلام.
So I said as for this matter regarding khilafah is not a objective of Islam.
الخلافة إنما هي وسيلة وليست بغاية.
So he said that the khilafah is a means, not the end.
وكثير من الأنبياء بعثهم الله سبحانه وتعالى ولم يكونوا الخلافة.
So he said many of the Anbiya prophets that they were sent and without khilafah.
منهم عيسى بن مريم
and amongst them Isa ibn Maryam,
وموسى بن عمران.
also Musa ibn Imran.
هؤلاء لم يقيموا دولة خلافة، لم يقيموا دولة خلافة.
So those Anbiya, they didn't per se establish a state. They didn't establish a state.
فنحن مأمورون بعبادة الله وحده لا شريك له.
So their thing was more to command the people to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and to establish His worship.
سواء كانت خلافة أو ليست خلافة.
Whether there's a state khilafah is established or not.
والخلافة هي مكملات إنما هي وسيلة وليست بغاية.
So this matter concerning al-khilafah is more of a means, not per se the objective, the main objective.
والمسلمون ضعفاء لأنهم تركوا التمسك بالدين الإسلامي.
And the Muslims are said to be referred to as being weak by way of that they have left away holding firm correctly to the Sunnah.
وهم كانوا إذا نظرنا إلى مثلا مادة الإسلام الذين هم العرب كانوا قبل الإسلام ضعفاء.
We said we look back from the past concerning the Arab that they were weak.
كانوا ضعفاء.
That they were people in the past, they were said to be weak.
وكان فارس والروم يتحكمون فيهما.
And you find that other Jews going to somewhat used to rule over them.
ولذلك قال ابن الخطاب نحن قوم أعزنا الله بالإسلام.
So he mentioned Umar ibn al-Khattab used to say that concerning we, meaning the Muslims then and the Arab, that we were given prominence or supremacy. What's the word? Supremacy by Islam.
والإسلام يعني يأتي ما لا يخالف الواقع، يأمرك بما تستطيع وما تطيق. الإسلام يأمرك بما تستطيع لا يكلف.
So Islam will command you to do what is within your ability.
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان في مكة في حال الضعف.
So the Prophet Islam, when he was in Mecca at that time, he was in a state of, which is referred to as a state of weakness.
فلم يكن مأمورا بالقتال.
So at that stage, they were not the Muslims then were commanded to fight.
ثم صار المدينة وصار قويا.
So when they arrived or went to Medina, then they had some strength and power.
وإذا جئنا إلى الواقع الآن.
So if we look at the situation at hand, at present,
الدول الإسلامية التي تقول هي عدد.
so he said the Muslim country that you have mentioned, yes, regarding as numbers, number of states.
لكن في ميزان القوة.
As for by way of concerning, if we compare regarding as concerning having strength and power and authority.
من جهة قوة الإيمان فيه ضعف.
So as for by way of quwwatul iman, by way of quwwatul iman, strength of faith, iman, they are weak still.
أكثر المسلمين مبتعدين عن الدين.
So that most Muslims can stand weak regarding the deen.
وكثير فيهم البدع جدا.
And many you find things of bid'ah amongst them.
والاستغاثة بغير الله.
And you find some Muslims that they supplicate, they seek aid and assistance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you find those things present.
وفي ميزان القوى المادية أيضا.
So as for concern that quwwah regarding materialistic things, they are still also considered to be weak.
ولو تدبرت تاريخ المسلمين قبل 60 سنة.
So if we were to contemplate regarding the state of the Muslim regarding maybe over 60 years before,
كل الدول الإسلامية كانت محتلة.
you have to find that all the Muslim countries they were somewhat colonized.
إلا مكة والمدينة تقريبا واليمن.
Except being colonized, except for Mecca, Medina, and parts of Yemen.
ونحن يجب أن نواجه القوى المادية بالقوى المادية.
So it was compulsory upon us that we can somewhat face concerning material power with material power.
في آخر الزمان.
في the last of times.
لما ينزل عيسى بن مريم.
When Isa al-Islam returns.
يخرج يأجوج ومأجوج.
So we find Ya'juj and Ma'juj that they all come forward, they will spread amongst in the land.
وهم عدد كثير جدا.
And they will have many in numbers.
فالله سبحانه وتعالى يوحي إلى عيسى بن مريم.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal to Isa al-Islam
أن حرز عبادي إلى جبال الطور.
that he should go to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, take them all to the mountains.
فإني أخرجت عبادا لا يدان لأحد بهم لا قوة لأحد بهم.
So they will be known that can have strength that is similar to them.
فهذه سنة الله الكونية. هذا عيسى رسول من الله وما واجه هؤلاء الذين هم أكثر.
So you find that Isa al-Islam that didn't per se clash with those people.
الشيخ ابن تيمية.
So Shaykh Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah
يقول أن أمريكا تملك أسلحة الآن أقوى من أسلحة يأجوج ومأجوج.
So Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he mentioned concerning as for America regarding concerning that weapons that they have Aquamin
يأجوج ومأجوج.
أقوى than
أسلحة يأجوج ومأجوج.
regarding the weapons of Ya'juj or Ma'juj. They have more weapons than them, better.
فأنت كرجل بدون سلاح تقول واجه رجل معه رشاش.
So it's like you, a person, a man who wants to face a person who has weapons and you have nothing.
وأيضا مريض.
And also added to this, you're also, tell us kids to keep it that you're also ill.
فهذا هو سبب الضعف يا شيخ.
So this is the reason for weakness.
والمأمور
Well, what is you're commanded with?
أن ننظر إلى أنفسنا وأن نعبد الله سبحانه وتعالى.
That we look to ourselves regarding our degree of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
فلو صلحنا سيصلح الجميع بإذن الله.
So if we, regarding individually, were to better ourselves regarding our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then things will change and be different.
والذين يعلقون الأمر بإصلاح الخلافة
As for those who can somewhat attach regarding matters with the Khilafah,
هم جماعات منحرفة.
that this is a particular group
فسروا الإسلام أن مقصود إقامة الخلافة.
where they can somewhat see that the objective of Islam is establishing the Khilafah.
وجعلوا أن المسلم أنت لا تصلح إلا إذا صلحت الخلافة.
And that a Muslim will not be proper until you get the matter of Khilafah in place, or it is in place, in order.
وذلك بعض المسلمين يفعل المحرمات.
So you find that some of the Muslims are doing things which is haram,
ويقول إذا قامت الخلافة أنا أترك الحرام.
and that they said that if the Khilafah is established, then we'll leave away doing these things that we're doing which is haram.
وهذا هوى.
And this is following of one's desire.
وسيد قطب يعني مشهور.
So said one of a person named Sayyid Qutb, who that person is well known,
من كان يعني يسعى للخلافة.
that used to be concerned, was against those who encourage concerning establishing the Khilafah,
ويفسر أكثر لا إله إلا الله بلا حكم إلا الله.
where it can somewhat explain that La ilaha illallah as meaning, being concerned that there's no
حاكم إلا الله.
there's no hakim except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
هذا خطأ. لا معبود تفسير الصحيح لا معبود بحق إلا
So
الله.
this explanation of La ilaha illallah, that there's no hakim except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a great error. Now, as the correct interpretation, explanation that there's nothing to be worshipped in truth except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
حكى عنه صاحبه علي عشماوي.
So his companion Ali Ashmawi, who said about him,
أنه كان لا يصلي الجمعة.
that he said about Sayyid Qutb, that this person he never used to pray Jummah.
لأن لا توجد خلافة.
Because why? Because there is no Khilafah that is established. Al-Mus'abi. This one? Okay. He mentioned the recent events in this country seen includes attack physically and verbally on the deen. How can a Muslim defend themselves in the lands of non-Muslim? قال يعني بالأمور أو ما قد حصلت الحديثة في من يعني اهتداء المسلمين بالقول وبالفعل كيف المسلم أن يدافع عن نفسه في الأرض غير المسلم أو في دول غير المسلم.
يدافع عن الإسلام.
يدافع عن نفسه. لأن
نفسه عن الإسلام.
أن ذكر هنا أن مسلم. كيف المسلم يدافع عن نفسه؟
قال لو اعتدى عليه.
لو اعتدى عليه.
لا. إذا أيوة كيف المسلم أن يدافع عن نفسه إذا اعتدى عليه غير المسلم؟
إذا اعتدى عليه غير المسلم إما أن تدافع عن نفسك بإبلاغ السلطات كما لو كنت في البلاد الإسلامية تستطيع أن تبلغ السلطات.
So I said, if the person wish to defend himself against a non-Muslim, then the thing the person can do is that he inform the authorities. He can inform the authorities about this.
أو تدفع دفع الصائل.
So the person defend himself as a person who's being attacked.
الصائل أن تدفعه بالأخف ثم يعني لا تقتل تبدأ بالأخف الأخف.
So you defend yourself in what is the least in defending yourself to protect yourself.
حتى يندفع عنك. حتى يندفع عنك. حتى يندفع عنك.
Until the person he goes away and flees away.
نعم. تفضل يا شيخ.
which بعد الأسئلة
واحد اثنين
اثنين. طيب بسم الله.
يعني السؤال الأول يعني نحن عشنا في بريطانيا كثير من الناس يستطيعون يعني أن يذهبوا إلى الوظائف. لكن مع الأسف الشديد يأخذون بعض الأوراق على المكذوبة ويقول أنا مريض ويحصل دعم من الدولة، فهل هذا حلال أو حرام؟ هذا السؤال الأول.
السؤال الشيخ ترجم الشيخ.
طيب
أعيد.
بالإنجليزي. So the question is regarding that sometimes a person might, but some people go to the state
يأخذ أوراق مزورة أنه مريض وليس بمريض.
Go to the council.
And with false documents that their case is such and such so as to get certain assistance.
Yeah, support from the government. Is that what halal or haram? That's the question.
Okay, so the question again regarding I find some that may go to the authorities with false documents or papers so as to get some form of assistance. They claim that they're sick and or that, those type of things. Is this permissible to be done or not?
هذا ظاهر يا شيخ، لا شك أنه محرم لأنه مبني على كذب وزور وتزوير.
So as for this answer, the answer is that as for this act that is mentioned, that is something with haram, as the person is using false documents.
السؤال الثاني تفضل.
السؤال الثاني فضيلة الشيخ بارك الله فيك هي أنا في دائرة النصيحة لكن يعني قول
فيما بعد. طيب.
يعني بعض الناس يعني حينما وقعت مشكلة في الخليج بعض الأخوة جاءوا عندنا قالوا يعني هذه قضية الدين ينبغي أن نطلع مع المملكة العربية السعودية لأن فيها بيت الله الحرام فيها مكة والمدينة. لأجل هذا كل قرار يصدر من المملكة العربية السعودية نحن نتبعها. فهل هذا موافق للدين أو مخالف للدين؟ أعيد.
أي.
يعني حينما وقعت المشكلة في دول الخليج.
When the problem occurred in the
between Saudi Arabia and another country, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar.
Recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people they came in, they said, we are following Saudi Arabia.
So the question is what happened regarding Saudi and other countries, that some people that we are following what Saudi have put in place.
Because the reason, because of Saudi Arabia, it is Mecca and Medina. That's the reason we are following the Saudi Arabia.
So the person, so
هذا شيخ يعني فضيلة الشيخ هذا يعني من الدين أو هذه خارج عن موضوع الدين والسياسة.
So the question is, those with a nutshell, concern the person mentioned what happened recently regarding Saudi and Egypt and other country, who have put some embargoes on other countries, that some of the brothers, some say we would follow whatever Saudi have put in place. Reason being because Saudi Arabia, within Saudi, they are the ones who have control over Medina and Mecca. So whatever they do, we do.
الحقيقة أن السعودية كما ذكر أخونا فيها مكة والمدينة.
So the Shaykh mentioned that, as what the brothers mentioned, that in Saudi Arabia, the country, that yes, within its boundaries, with its hudud, that it can, Medina and Mecca is within this.
وأي زعزعة في السعودية لا تقع زعزعة الحرمين.
So anything that disrupts Saudi, then may disrupt also the Haramain, meaning Medina and Mecca.
من هذا الوجه نحن نقف مع كل من يحاول الإفساد في بلاد الحرمين.
So based upon this, that anyone who wishes to make things difficult or unsettled in the Haramain, then we'll take a position.
وقطر مما تحاول إفساد بلاد الحرمين.
نعم.
قطر تحاول إفساد بلاد الحرمين.
So we find that Qatar, that country, that also that they're involved in doing things to cause uneasiness in Saudi Arabia.
وهذا يعني واقع وحق ما نستطيع أن ننكره.
So I said, as for this is something which is real and we can't ignore it.
وندعو الله أن يصلح قطر ويهديها.
So I mentioned as for Qatar that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them and make things and change their state, their affairs.
Shaykh, yesterday regarding the issue of following the funerals, for example, you mentioned about not being permissible to attend a non-Muslim's funeral in certain circumstances. Can the Shaykh elaborate in regards to what exactly is allowed and isn't allowed? Because you said something about not going to the church, or can you go to the church and stand at the back, or you said not to participate in their singing and so forth, but yet you can follow to the burial? Can you then go to the actual burial and help with the burial itself? So if you could just
elaborate or answer the question. Which one? طيب أنا أقول يعني ذكرت بالأمس الماضية بالنسبة الجنائز مع الكفار فيه أمور يعني مباح وأمور محرم. نعم. لكن هل تستطيع أن توضح أكثر بالنسبة ما لا يجوز؟ ثم ذكر يعني هل يجوز للشخص مثلا أن يذهب إلى ويجلس في خلف في الكنيسة. نعم. and هل يجوز أو هل يمكن له نعم أن يمشي إلى المقبرة ويساعدهم يعني في الدفن.
نعم.
أيوة.
الكنيسة لا يجوز.
حتى في الخلف.
حتى في الخلف.
Says as for entering to the church, even if you sit in the back, then that's not permissible.
لأنه مشاركهم في الصلاة.
So then it's like you are participating with them in a matter concerning, for example, salat.
وكذلك الدفن إذا كان يتم بطريقة تعبدية فإنه يحرم.
So if concerning the burial, right, that it is something which is ta'abudiyya, then you shouldn't participate.
أما كان دفن عادي.
So if it's something which is just a general, that's something adi.
General. قد لا يوجد غيرك يدفن أو غيرك وغيره.
And there's no one else except for you that is there.
فلا حرج لكن أخشى أن تضع الصليب في مبادئ.
So there's nothing wrong with this. You are a few but the problem is that the fear concern they may put a cross on the grave.
فهذا الذي لا يجوز.
So that this is what is not permissible.
So basically, to be safe, it's just literally following from when they finish from the church, literally just following from there to the burial and then.
طيب. So قال يعني الأفضل أن يمشي معهم إنما خرج من الكنيسة إلى المقبرة، أما في المقبرة وفي الكنيسة لا ابتعد.
فإذا دفنوا يأتي يعزي بداره.
So it says no. Was you mentioned that in between from the church? No. The burial ground? No. In between, you can go with them. But after they have done the burial, then you can go and see the burial area.
Is this including parents as well? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is there any exception with obviously if it's your mom or your...
وقال يعني هذا يعني يختص بالوالد أو لأي أحد. It is for anyone. It's general. أيوة. Don't say killing you. That's context. That's.
إنه لو كان محرما لما جاز للأب والأم.
نعم.
لو كان حراما
أي.
لا يجوز لأجل أنه أبوك أو أمك.
So even something haram wouldn't be specific about your parents type of thing. نعم. So it is generally across the board. And we type. Okay, go.
The hadith found in Sahih Bukhari or Muslim. Yeah, hadith states if any one of you was in a war and the person is fighting, the person should avoid the face. Is this for jihad alone or is it for outside jihad?
Okay, so the question about that is asked concerning the hadith that is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. The verse of the hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim that state that in jihad that you are to avoid the face of the enemy. Is this hadith specific regarding jihad or the hadith is general? Okay. يقول الحديث في صحيح البخاري ومسلم أن حديث فيه أنه لا في الجهاد لا تضرب الوجه. نعم. هل هذا حكم خاص بالجهاد أو عام؟ سواء كان في جهاد أو خارج جهاد لا تضرب الوجه. هذا
الحديث عام لم يأتي بالجهاد خصوصا.
As the Shaykh said, as for first concerning the hadith that is mentioned, it doesn't specifically mention jihad by itself.
فهو عام.
So the hadith is general.
يحرم ضرب الوجه.
Meaning that the hadith, the text that you mentioned about jihad, that part is not a part of the hadith.
Secondly, that like you see, like a lot of us, we experience a physical aggression against us on the street, for example. So if someone come and attack you, you say, okay, because of this hadith, I'm not going to punch the person in the head or the face. I'm just going to start punching the person in the belly. How do you deal with this?
طيب بالنسبة لهذا الحديث إذا طيب أنا في الشارع وقابل لي واحد يريد الاعتداء علي وأنا أريد أن نواجه هذا الرجل نعم بالضرب هل يجب علي أن ترك الوجه ضرب في الوجه لا يجوز البتة حتى في
لا إذا ضربك في وجهك اضرب في وجهك.
They got that point. So the Shaykh said, if the one hits you in your face, then you are right, you can hit him back in his face. As above, I was trying to know you're doing what is equally done to you to them.
لكن حاول أن تدفع كما قلنا بالأخف.
So what you try is kind of somewhat to repel that person to what is the most easiest way for you.
In London, becoming educated in London, generally you have to get a shahada and or go to university and come out with a shahada in order to have prospects of getting a good job. Yeah? But going to university comes at a very high price, which generally most the general people in most cases can't afford. And then you have particular ways of going about getting loans in order to pay for that thing, in order to go to university. Because in order to get a better living, is you get a good education, but it comes at a price.
What's the price?
The question is, what do we do in the case where we can't afford this thing? Most people come from single mothers, backgrounds, no father, mother.
In circumstances, okay.
There are specific circumstances for people under in this particular bracket who don't have the wealth, but need to pay.
What to be done?
What to be done?
Okay. يقول أن الدخول في الجامعة أو أخذ الدراسة العليا يحتاج إلى أن تدفع نعم مبلغ يعني كبير أو كثير لكن كثير من الناس لا يستطيع أن فما هو الحل؟ لأن الآن الوصول على الشغل يعني الطيب مناسب يحتاج إلى شهادة من الجامعة لكن أكثر الناس يعني لا يستطيع أن تدفع هذا فماذا الحل في هذا الحال؟ بدون أخذ القرض من البنك أو من الحكومة.
الشيخ ما في إلا أنك تعمل وتدفع. هذا المتيسر الآن أنك تعمل بوظيفة وتدفع ليس عندك خيار غير هذا.
Just as a person that you work and you pay for it. That's the choice that you have.
وكثير من الناس يفعلون هذا.
In fact, many people they go that route.
وهي فترة زمنية قصيرة وتنتهي إن شاء الله.
This is a small time period.
The explanation regarding Prophet Isa coming back.
Sorry?
Explanation about Prophet Isa alayhi salam coming back. In the hadith it says when he comes, he will break the cross, he will kill the pigs. So what is the explanation on that? Breaking cross, killing the pigs.
What is meant by that? Okay. يقول أن عند نزول عيسى عليه السلام أن الحديث يذكر أنه سيقتل الخنزير والقصر السريب يعني كيف أن يفسر هذه أو هذان قتل الخنزير
في أول الزمان وفي عهد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يقبل بقاء النصارى على دينه.
So that initially, in the early stage of Islam, that it was accepted for the Christian to remain upon their religion, and that they will pay jizya, a tax.
ومع أنهم يقولون أن عيسى قتل وصلب.
Taking into account that they only view the Christian that Isa, that Jesus, that he was killed and crucified.
وهذا كذب.
And this is a lie.
لكن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أقرهم على هذا.
But the Prophet somewhat he let them go on that. He accepted that from them or allowed them on that.
فإذا نزل عيسى بنفسه.
So when Isa Islam himself returns,
لا يقبل منهم النصرانية.
that he would not accept from them being Christian.
وأنه قتل وصلب.
And that he was what they claim that he was crucified and killed.
لأنه موجود بنفسه الآن.
No?
لأنه موجود بنفسه.
The reason is that he himself is present amongst them.
فهذا معنى.
This is the meaning.
Not that we're looking cross.
فقال بالنسبة لقصر الصليب
إنهم يعبدون الصليب لأن عيسى صلب، عيسى لم يصلب.
says that Isa alayhi salam that he was not crucified.
About the pigs.
الخنزير قتل الخنزير.
وكذلك الخنزير هم أدخلوا في دين النصارى. عيسى يرد أن دين النصارى واليهود كان لا يقبل الإسلام.
So that Isa alayhi salam regarding these things that they claim regarding Isa being dead and crucified, and that also regarding of them eating of the pig, give allowance for the pig, Isa would be preaching against these practices and denouncing that these things are not actually from the teaching that he brought. So then at that stage they will have no excuse regarding what they believe in, but he will clarify those things.
خلاص فهمت شيخنا. شيخنا بالنسبة لتأمين الصحة للمسافر يجوز أو لا يجوز؟ مثلا رجل يذهب إلى بلد وتدفع مثلا مبلغ بسيط، إذا كان على نفترض حسب الشيء، هل هذا يجوز أو غير جائز؟
So the question that asked is taking out health insurance for a person who is to travel. That is something which is you pay what as minimum fee, a small fee is paid. So the general thing is this type of insurance being taken out, is it something which is permissible or not?
القاعدة عند العلماء أن الحاجة إذا عمت بها البلوى تنزل منزلة الضرورة. So the ulama they mentioned the qaida concerning if al-haja, if something is of a need that it becomes widespread, it what's that? It become widespread, becomes a matter of become a matter of necessity. والآن الحاجة ملحة إلى التأمين الطبي.
So he said that today becomes what we said a common practice.
لأن تكاليف العلاج مرتفعة جدا.
Is a common practice, but we call it the cost of it is also very, but the cost of it is very high.
ولذلك المجمع الفقهي جوز التأمين الطبي.
So you find that some of the Islamic research bodies, they say Majma al-Fiqhiyya, which is Islamic research body of different mashayikh from different country, that they are given Majma al-Fiqhiyya, that give a permissibility that a person can take out this type of insurance.
لأنه حاجة وصارت كضرورة لا يمكن للإنسان أن يعالج نفسه وابنائه إلا بهذا.
So he said, and the reason being that they see that the person, for example, that if a person that becomes something a need and a need that becomes widespread, and a person, if your family get ill, you cannot per se yourself cure them or look after or cure them.
كتأمين السيارات.
And just as in the case, something similar to the regarding the case concerning that having car insurance.
نعم.
جزاكم شيء. الدفع في صندوق التقاعد يجوز أو لا يجوز شيخ؟ أو
والله بالنسبة
So he said also addition to this is regarding that the person who pays regarding retirement for your retirement. Yeah.
Pension for
what?
Pension for
pension أيوة for your pension أيوة جزاك الله خير.
أما في الدول الإسلامية في العلماء يجوزونها.
نعم.
في الدول الإسلامية يجوزونها.
In fact, in a Muslim country, they are given permissibility of this act of taking out pension insurance.
لأنه يجعلون من بيت مال المسلمين.
As it is go like it is paid in the Baytul Mal of the Muslim.
أما في غير البلاد الإسلامية.
As for in outside Muslim country,
فهم على قولين.
that the ulama they have two opinions on this.
بعضهم منع لأن هذا من باب التأمين التجاري.
So some of them hold that it is something which is not permissible as a form of transaction insurance.
وبعضهم جوز يعني يقول الحكومة ومصلحة وكذا.
And some give some permissibility, as I said, no matter regarding the hukuma and these type of things.
وأنا عندي في تردد.
As for the Shaykh, he hasn't come to a final conclusion. من لم يسأل. طيب.
أحسن الله إليك يا شيخ، كيف نرد على من يقول أن الامرأة مسلمة مظلومة؟
So the question that is asked concerns how can we respond, what's the rebuttal for those who said the Muslim woman, she is oppressed.
الشيخ هذه دعوة. تعرف الدعوة؟ يعني أنا أدعي أنك أخذت مالي.
So he said, as for that question, or that thing that is put out there, he said, this is a mere claim. Meaning, what we mean by a mere claim? I'm saying, accuse, and what he says about you, it is a mere accusation.
فلا بد أن أقيم البينة في المحكمة والدليل على أنك أخذت مالي.
So it needs that. So this claim, it needs some form of evidence. It needs some form of evidence for it to carry some weight.
فمن قال مظلومة تقول في أي شيء مظلومة.
So if we say a person is being oppressed, we said, okay, in what matter? Regarding what matter?
أيوة. يعني مثلا يعني في لبسها يعني.
So added to the question, for example, if we say she's being oppressed regarding the way of how she dress or attire.
هو الحقيقة مثل هذا قد يعني يرى كذلك، لكن العجيب في مثل هؤلاء يعني أنا لبسي ترى قريب من لبس المرأة، أنا لابس طويل وحجاب باقي فقط الطال الوجه، ولا يرون هذا أنه يعني ظلم.
So Shaykh عبد الله
لا صحيح نتكلم
صحيح. Now so the Shaykh said that with these matters, they said for example that the woman, that it may be said or attacked that the Muslim woman she's oppressed because the way that she's dressed means she cover herself now outdoors. So the Shaykh said, okay, this matter regarding that matter, that it is something we said relative, because for example, the way that I am dressed, so I'm wearing my head is covered. Now, also I'm wearing a garment that covers my entire body. That could be similar to a abaya. So, but if the people don't say I'm oppressed.
أيضا يا شيخ الراهبات لا يقول عنها مظلومة.
نعم.
الراهبة.
Hey, so also the person who's like the priest or the way he's dressed, then the nun, that how she's dressed, she's not said to be oppressed. So that's the same. That's not zulm, oppression. So it's seen from the other point of view. من هو اللي hands up؟ طيب الأخ تفضل.
بارك الله فيك. أنا أود ما هو أحسن طريقة لطالب العلم أن يبدأ قراءة الكتب أو لفهم الدين.
نعم.
أو في طلبة العلم.
من أي باب يبدأ.
نعم.
Okay, so the question about the he said that what's the best system or method to be followed regarding a person who wants to start in seeking of ilm and studying of the books of the ulama, studying of books.
طبعا لا شك أن أول ما يبدأ للمسلم تعليم العقيدة والتوحيد.
So as the person who wants to start on the path of seeking of knowledge and understanding of Islam, then the person will start regarding learning first and foremost. The first thing to start with the person having a correct understanding of matters relating to Aqidah. And that at that level, that the book, the Shaykh Abdullah, he mentioned the thing that he would advise the person start with on that level regarding books in Aqidah is the book of Kitab al-Tawheed. So the book on that level will be Kitab al-Tawheed by Shaykh Muhammad.
الكتاب مليء بالآيات والأحاديث وأقوال السلف.
And the reason that particular book that it is filled with ayat, ahadith and aqwal of the salaf.
وله شروح كثيرة.
And this particular book it has many explanations that are there.
طبعا أوسعها شرح الشيخ معين.
And more detailed explanation. Now is that of Ibn Taymeeyah?
وأنصح بشروح الشيخ عبد العزيز الرئيس.
But he can stop the Shaykh he mentioned that for maybe your level, that to start with the explanation of Shaykh Abdul Aziz al-Rais. But that is in Arabic language. So Shaykh said, as for those who are English, then the people are the what?
كسب الحلال في بلد الغربة في بلاد غير مسلم من الصعب لأنه في العمل هناك اختلاط وكذلك إذا كان الرجل يريد أن يجتنب الاختلاط يأخذ السواق لكن هذا السواق يذهبون إلى أماكن مثلا ما هو ضوابط شيخ للمسلم في الغرب بالنسبة لكسب الحلال والعمل عموما؟ البطالة شيء ليس
جيد صحيح. نعم صحيح.
It was a question.
What's to earn halal income in the UK is difficult because lots of jobs they have free mixing, and also if you want to avoid free mixing and become a taxi driver, for example, many of the places you go to is going to be you're taken into places like pubs or bars or like this. So what's the dawabit? What are the principles that a Muslim in the West can apply the principles?
So the question regarding concerning seeking of halal means of for Muslim regarding seeking halal means of living, that to find that. So what are some of the principles that can be used and followed? Say, you might find a person who, if you try to find a job in certain places, you have free mixing being one of the problem. Also, you might find a person that said, okay, I'm going to be a taxi driver. But also, with that being a taxi driver, then sometimes you have to take a person from point. You have to take people to places that are doing haram things. So, what's the dawabit regarding seeking a halal livelihood in these lands?
أهم ضابط في هذا الباب ألا يكون سبب الكسب محرم.
So, the most important of those principles or the guidelines that this particular type of way of earnings is not something which is haram.
كبيع الخنزير أو الخمر.
Such as selling of alcohol, pork,
أو الربا.
or involvement in riba.
أو بيع شعائر الكفر.
Or selling things as the symbols of kufr.
أو مساعدة على شعائر الكفر.
Or assisting in regarding things which is of the symbols of kufr.
أما الاختلاط.
As for free mixing, that this matter regarding free mixing is something that have somewhat become a widespread matter even in the land of the Muslim. So I said no, that so it won't be where involvement or it will be haram because of the reason of free mixing. So upon the person they should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of their ability. And that type of khalwa is not something which is muharrama or something that is forbidden.
شيخ في هذا الزمان بعض الناس يجدون صلاة الفجر صعب جدا لأن الوقت بين العشاء والفجر قريب. فيعني ماذا تقول عن الرجل الذي يذكر لصلاة الفجر دائما يعني ولم يصلي حتى شروق الشمس، وأيضا هل يستطيع أن يصلي الركعتين أو سنة الرواتب لذلك اليوم، لأن لم يصلي صلاة الفجر حتى شروق الشمس. نعم.
So the question that the brother asked concerning a person because of, I think regarding that what you might find in some situation that between the time of Salatul Isha and Salatul Fajr that the time is very small. Now, between them, short time between both of them. So sometimes also one may miss Salatul Fajr many times. We miss Salatul Fajr because of this. So the question is regarding that: if the person was to miss it, does he pray Fajr when the sun rises? And also, would he pray the rak'atayn attached to it? So as for the person that he tried to put effort regarding establishing Salatul Fajr in its proper time. So he go for example, the person try to go to sleep as quick as possible. And that have some form of way of to remind or something to wake you. So if the person was to sleep through this, then there's no sin upon them. So some people are somewhat that they fix their alarms to the time that they get up for work. And that would be like after salat, meaning after salat time. Then that would be something which is the person who falls into error, sin.
وإذا استيقظ وذهب وأشرقت الشمس فإنه يصلي السنة ثم يصلي ركعتين الفجر ثم يصلي صلاة الفجر.
So if the person was to wake up and the time for Salat al-Fajr have passed, then the person that he will pray Salat al-Fajr and also he will pray the Sunan of Salat al-Fajr.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نام مرة عن صلاة الفجر فقام بعدما أشرقت الشمس وصلى السنة ثم صلى بعدها الفجر. So an evidence for this, the Prophet Islam that he himself that on occasion that he made Salat al-Fajr in his proper time, and when they woke up that he Islam that they pray Fajr and also the Sunan of Salat al-Fajr.
We spoke about not giving the salams to non-Muslims, but at the same time we also spoke about the hadith of where the Prophet ﷺ said that we should spread the salams to to Muslims who we know and we don't know. But now there's a common practice amongst non-Muslims where they actually look Muslim, like they'll grow the beard and shave the moustache. There's even cases where we have non-Muslims who wear thobes as well. So for somebody who is quite, like shadid and wanting to give the salams to brothers, who they know and they don't know, what is the advice in regards to this situation? Because you'll be giving salam, you'll be thinking that he's a Muslim and giving salam, and
not knowing.
Not knowing, yeah, he's not Muslim.
Okay. So some of the questions that concern, we mentioned, Shaykh Hafidullah, he mentioned yesterday regarding giving salams, in relation to non-Muslim. But you might find in today's time, or with us, that you might find that some people who are non-Muslim, but they wear the beard, they can someone from outwardly, they look like Muslim, they have the beard, they even sometimes will wear the thobe, the Muslim dress, and they'll give you salam. So, and the Shaykh, he mentioned about spreading of the salams to Muslims that you know and those who you know. Would this apply also in that case?
No.
So if you give salam mistakenly, that thinking that they are Muslims.
So if you give the salam to a person who you think is a Muslim.
Yeah, because you already established that if they give you salam first, then it's
okay.
Yeah, but in terms of you giving the salam first.
Okay, thinking that he's a Muslim.
Thinking that he's a Muslim.
Okay. طيب قال يعني بالخلاصة بعض الناس أتى من الكفار يعني في الظاهر هي أنهم يشبه المسلم عنده لحية، حتى بعضهم يلبسون الثوب المسلم، لكن إذا أنت تمر على هذا الرجل وظن أنه مسلم لكن هو كافر وأنت تبدأ له بالسلام، هل فيه شيء؟
لا ليس شيء، تبني على غلبة الظن عندك.
Hey, so I hope I asked the question proper. So the question was, just to make sure repeat, I said to the Shaykh that that you might find some people are Muslim, but by their appearance, outward appearance, they wear the beard, they have sometimes wear the thobe, you think he's a Muslim. So you might offer in the salam first. Is there anything wrong with this? So the Shaykh said, as for what is, then there's no, because you thought that he was a Muslim, from what is apparent. Now, from what is apparent. Some question was written, let me add. Okay, دقيقة.
إذا كان
Okay, تفضل.
إذا كان كافرا لا تسلم عليه
إذا كان كافرا تقول صباح الخير مساء الخير.
لكن لا تقول السلام عليكم.
قلنا الأول أنك ما تقول هذا. نعم.
بس اسمه كوشية. فيك تقول وعليك يعني
لا إذا سلم عليك سلاما صحيحا قل وعليكم السلام. المحاضرة سيرفعونها الأخوة عندكم في الموقع. موجود الأحكام.
So the question about we just asked, just very quick, that after the thing that was discussed yesterday regarding that you the Muslim offering first the salam to the kuffar, then not to be done. Also, if they were to give you salam and they do it in a very clear way, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah type of thing, then Shaykh mentioned that you can respond. But most of that was covered in yesterday's lecture. Most of that discussion was covered yesterday. It's about to give me a few seconds to answer the ones that were written up. إذا عندك بنت شيخ تستطيع أن تقرأ عنها؟
البنت تزوجت بغير إذن الأب.
طيب.
وحملت أو لم تحمل، الظاهر أنها حملت إذا انوي الحمل.
ينوي حمل وضع ايش وضع؟
أو ماذا أو الوضع كان يكون كذا. طيب الأصل أن تترجم السؤال.
So the general question is regarding zina, but that a daughter getting married without the permission of her father. Now, then everything about being pregnant, but the general question that and she getting a girl getting married without the permission and consent of her father. And she wants to give birth. Is this permissible or not? So as for a woman, for her to get married, she needs to have someone she needs to have a wali, a guardian. So if you find a person that she wants to marry, to know that the person is satisfactory to her and proper, and her parents, her father, that he does not agree for her to get married to that person, and he has no valid reason, so her brother can get her married. And if the brother doesn't give consent, then she can go to an uncle.
وإذا امتنعوا أظن هنا في محكمة للمسلمين تأتي إلى محكمة من محاكم المسلمين أو إلى رئيس مركز إسلامي ويزوجها.
So if for example that either the person in those situation circumstance, then if the family members are all not agreeing for her to get married, then eventually she can either go to the Muslim mahakim, like a Muslim body. Now, for example, a Muslim body, or she can go to like the end of their Muslim organization, the masjid and the likes. But it's first for them to confirm and to check, did her father forbid her to get married or does not agree for her to get married? So if the parents is kind of somewhat blocking her, stopping her, withholding her without valid reason for getting married, without any valid reasons, then they can marry her over the parent, so as that child does not fall into haram. And if she is married, then she can bear children.
هلا؟
تفضل.
شيخنا الشروط في عقد النكاح مثلا على أن لا تتزوج عليها ومثل هذا، هل صائغ أو لا؟ هل تشترط الامرأة في عقد النكاح شروط أم لا؟
السؤال
تشترط أن لا يتزوج عليها أو أن لا يخرجها من بريطانيا.
المرأة.
المرأة.
So if the wife that she put as a condition upon her husband to be her husband, that for him as a condition, she put lay as a condition for him not to remarry others, to take on other wives, or for her to be taken outside the country. Now, what's this? The permissibility of this? Since as for the ulama, what is more correct regarding the aqwal of the ulama is that they hold that it is valid, this condition, and for the husband, for him to fulfill this and to honor this. And this is based upon the statement of the Prophet Islam that the Muslim, that they should live up to their agreements.
وكذلك صح عن عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه.
And also been authentic that Umar رضي الله عنه.
هو اختيار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية.
And also this is the view taken by Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah, that the husband should fulfill and honor this.
فإذا ما الزوج لم يوفي بشرط ما حقها مثلا بالنسبة
فسخ النكاح.
فسخ النكاح.
إذا تريد.
ليس طلاق ولا.
لا تفسخ. ليس له حق أن يمنع خلاص تفسخ إذا تنازلت.
So so adding to that question, that for example, if then the husband still went with that condition in place, now that he went and his wife said, do not remarry, and that was the condition given from the start. Now, and he went and did not and got married. What's her rights? What's the wife right? Then Shaykh mentioned that as of her right that she can have the marriage can be annulled. The marriage can be annulled. It's not per se divorced, but the marriage is annulled. Brothers looking at me. Okay. تفضل.
Afwan Shaykh, when you say a no, does that mean it's a talaq? Is it a talaq or is it just, what do you mean by that?
الفسخ طلاق وليس به النسخ.
لا الفسخ ليس بالطلاق كالخلع فسخ العقد.
It says annulment. As we see with the word annulment, is not a form of divorce. It's an annulment. The marriage is it's like a type of khula where the marriage is dissolved. The marriage is dissolved.
So it doesn't add like a strike.
It doesn't add a strike.
Strike meaning.
Meaning is one.
يعتبر يعني مثلا الطلاق الأولى واحد يعتبر طلاق الأول أم لا؟
إذا فسخت النكاح فلا يعتبر من الطلاق.
So that if there's a first annulment of the marriage is not considered a form of divorce, talaq.
ولا يستطيع أن يرجعها.
And in that case, they are separated and they cannot go back.
إلا بمهر وموافقتها وولي.
Except for them to go back together later on, it has to be like a complete new marriage. Go back to the wali, mahar, get married, so go to a new process altogether. That if first was in play. But some may ask for talaq. So if it's talaq, then it is the rules of talaq applies. أيوة.
ماذا أحسن الطريق لكي تراجع القرآن السورة التي يعني تحفظ من
The question concerning what's the best method concerning a person to memorize the Quran, to keep, to retain what you have memorized previously. So the best of way regarding memorizing the Quran is the way of the Salaf. Which is that they would read what they have memorized during the night. So the person not able to do Qiyam al-Layl and read what he have learned, memorize Qiyam al-Layl. So the person would read those what he have learned in his other salawat of nawafil. And after Isha, so you have a day that you can somewhat revise, revision. كان فيه طيب ثم أنت.
So when can a woman travel without mahram?
When can a woman
travel
so when can a lady travel without a mahram? يعني متى يجوز تحل المرأة أن تسافر بدون محرم؟
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تسافر المرأة إلا مع ذي محرم.
So the Prophet mentioned the hadith that a woman is not allowed to travel except with a mahram.
وفي لفظ قال 3 أيام.
And in some narration mentioned 3 days.
وفي لفظ قال يوم وليلة.
And some narration mentioned 2 days.
والمقصود من المحرم هو حفظ المرأة.
So sorry mentioned day and night. So the Shaykh mentioned that the main thing is concerned is now the protection of the mahram.
المحرم من شروطه لابد أن يكون ذكرا بالغا.
So as for the shurut, now this person who is said to be the mahram for the woman, of the condition he should be one who is above puberty and aqil.
فإذا وجدت رفقا آمنا لسفر حج واجب أو تطوع واجب.
نعم شيخ.
لسفر حج واجب.
If they want to travel for hajj wajib compulsory.
فابن حزم يحكي إجماع الصحابة على جواز السفر إلى محرم إذا كان هناك رفقة آمنة.
So Ibn Hazm rahimahullah, he had mentioned that if a woman wishes to travel to perform hajj, which is wajib, and she has no mahram, that he mentioned that ijma that she can go if she has other companions that are trustworthy.
واختيار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية.
And also Shaykh al-Islam of that.
طبعا الآن يعني بعض الناس مثلا يوصلها إلى المطار مثلا في بريطانيا مثلا ويستقبلها أخوها في فرنسا في القاهرة.
So he mentioned, for example, what they may do is that, for example, that some of our family that are here will take her to the airport, for example, local airport in her country, then she will be greeted by other family members, the place that she's going, or place of destination, or the airport there. So I said to know some of the ulama are giving permissibility for her to, while in flight, That because they said that type of environment is something which is protected. And of those concerned, Shaykh Abdul Razak Al-Afifi, one of the ulama who have died of recent, contemporary. كان ايه الأخ؟
عفوا فضيلة الشيخ، هناك بعض مما يجب دعم بعض دول الخليج وهم أسماءهم دعاة يعيشون في البلاد ولا ينشرون الدعوة. They getting money from Khalid country.
Spread the dawah. They're being assisted, okay.
And it's not doing anything. And the wages في بيته.
داعي هذا. Okay.
وإذا سألته هو يعني الذي عنده هو كثير. يسأله عن من أين وجدت هذه الأموال؟ هو يأخذ مثلا من السعودية أو من الإمارات ومع ذلك يكفر السعودية وكله. فما هو السبب؟
So as for the question that was asked by the brother that is asked to shake opinion regarding what we might find, that you have particular individuals who are said to be du'at, that are here and they are being assisted financially by, for example, people in Khalid state or overseas Saudi, but they are being assisted financially for them to give dawah. But that person, he will sit in his house and do nothing. But what the person become known for more is that he's known for takfir type of dawah. And also that person, you even make takfir upon the people who are assisting him, he'll make takfir upon them. So, what can the Shaykh say about this? Says as for this person who's like this, example, that the person should be advised. And the person, as per se, taking to this advice, then what should be done? That they should inform those who are responsible or who are aiding him. But use concerning it, speech that is what do I say? Credible information. Trying to. So you think that it's not credible that the person that maybe that he may do of this thing, make takfir upon others. So kind of somewhat to get credible source regarding that the person is doing this thing. And this is from the bab of forbidding of evil.
ما هو ضوابط اللباس للرجال وللنساء في الغرب شيء وليتخلف.
Says the question concerning what's the dawabit regarding what is acceptable to be worn for men and for women in the West.
الرجل يجوز له أن يلبس ما شاء من الألبسة إذا غطى العورة.
So said the person is rajul that he's allowed to wear what will cover his awra, cover it, the parts that needs to be covered. And as for the boundaries of the awra between the ulama, there is some discussion between the ulama. And this regarding for a man that concerned the ulama, this is regarding it's between the navel and the knee. Is this the area that must be covered for the man? And some of them say that's not for the man. The main ear to be covered for the man is the back and the front, the private ears. So it should be concerning that the person's garment should be concerning awra, that a person doesn't wear any type of garment that you can see that is transparent. As for those garments that sent to dress that is very tight-fitted for a man. So tight-fitting clothing for men, it is something which is it is something which is not disliked, but it is contrary to what is best. That is regarding a man. And as for a female, then she covered what will not expose herself. So the woman should cover herself and not expose herself, but also regarding wearing of tight-fitted garments. So after the woman that of the thing for the woman that also she should not wear things that is considered to be dressing or attire which is a fitna. It attracts fitna. So if she covers herself and there is no fitna that is involved, then this is permissible. ايش متى الصلاة؟ الآن؟ It's gone past. جاوزت الوقت الصلاة. آخر سؤال.
السلام عليكم. السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
إضافة إلى جملة يعني عن السفر، يعني ما يعني تعد سفر، يعني مثلا يعني الامرأة تريد أن سفر يعني معهد.
أحسنت.
So the question is asked concerning that regarding safar, what is said or defined as safar, as traveling.
السفر حده في المسافة وفي الوقت عندنا.
So it said as for traveling, it is defined concerning the distance that is traveled and also the time.
أما في المسافة فشيخ الإسلام مذهبه العرف.
So Shaykh al-Islam concerning as for regarding the distance, then Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah, that he would define it as it goes back to the oath, the customs.
ما تعرف الناس عليه أنه سفر فهو سفر.
So whether the people agree or the people decide that this is considered to be a journey, then that's said to be a journey.
لكن صحيح أن العرف لا ينضبط.
So he said that what is correct that concerning that safar is have no restrictions or go back into the orders or distance.
ولذلك المالكية والشافعية والحنابلة على تحديده بالمسافة.
So the ulama of the Maliki and Shafi'iyya that they more define it by going back to Masafa, go back to the distance covered.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال 3 أيام بلياليها.
So he mentioned about the mention hadith concerning not is 3 days and night.
فقالوا أنها مسيرة 85 كيلومتر.
So it's like 85, it would be like 85, a traveling of a distance walking of 85 kilometers.
وهذا فتوى الشيخ بن باز.
And that's the view of Shaykh bin Baz.
ولعلها صح الأقوال.
And that seems to be correct. So what would be safar would be 85 kilo and above.
أما بالنسبة للوقت,
as for the time, what?
فالجمهور يعني الحنابلة والشافعية والمالكية على أنه إذا أقام 4 أيام.
So جمهور of the Hanabila wa Shafi'iyya wa Malikiyya that if the person reaches place of destination and he stays there for 4 days or more,
فإنه يقصر فوق يتفق 4 أيام ويقصر بالأربعة يصير فيما فوقها.
So the person if he reaches place of destination as a trainer, when if it is length of stay there, time for that, if it is above 4 days, he would shorten his salat for the first 4 days, and what exceed, then he goes normal.
والحنفية 15 يوم.
And for the Hanafiya, they put it at the time, the amount of days that you have, it is 15 days.
واختار شيخ الإسلام تبع ابن قدامة ومذهب ابن قدامة المقدسي.
And Shaykh Ibn Taymeeyah and also Ibn Qudamah al-Maqdi, they have the view
أنه يقصر ما لم ينوي الاستيطان بتلك الديار.
that the person that he can shorten his salat as long as the person doesn't intend to stay to be a resident, to reside there.
وهو مذهب بعض السلف.
And that's the method of the Salaf.
كابن عمر وسمرة.
So Ibn Umar wa Samara.
ابن عمر جلس في كابل أظن يقصر 6 أشهر.
So I mentioned that Ibn Umar that he for 6 months he was in an area where he
كان يمنعه الرجوع كان يمنعه الثلج من الرجوع.
And that he was short in salat because he was blocked from leaving because of the snow.
لعل هذا صح الأقوال أنه ما لم ينوي الاستيطان فإنه يقصر.
So that seems to be the more correct view as the Shaykh all concerned as not as long as the person doesn't intend to be resident there to reside, then he's a traveler.
واختيار من معاصر شيخنا تيمية.
And of those of contemporary who have taken that view is Ibn Taymeeyah rahimahullah. So this inshallah will come to an end. We have also, apologies for those for regarding the salat that we have somewhat gone beyond the time of salat, so our apologies for that. But قبل أن ننتهي أو أن نختم نريد أن نشكر فضيلة الشيخ عنيس المصعبي لهذه المحاضرات والدورة خلال هذه أيام الاثنين. والإخوة نشكر لكم أو يشكرون لكم ويريد منكم أن تزورنا في وقت قريب.
إن شاء الله جزاكم الله خير جميعا. لكن عندي لكم نصيحة ووصية.
So the Shaykh also have some words of advice.
أرجو أن لا تقطعوا الاتيان إلى المسجد أبدا.
So Shaykh said after advice that you try not to break coming to the masjid regular.
حتى لو كان أحدكم يسكن بعيدا.
Even if you live far away from the masjid.
ولا بد أن يأتي بزوجته وأبنائه يوما في الأسبوع.
So I said even to the extent where a person come with his children and his wife at least once to the masjid, once a week to the masjid.
المسجد في هذه الديار هو المجتمع الإسلامي.
So I said the masjid, the place of the masjid in these the land in these land, it becomes like the center of the Muslim, the center place for the Muslim.
وإنما يأكل الذئب من الغنم القاسية.
And that the wolf he eats the sheep that is by itself.
فلا تأكل من الغنم القاسية وكن قويا بإخوانك.
So do not become like that sheep that is by itself, but find strength between your brothers.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.